Hello. I just wanted to hop on here and talk a little bit about why I even started doing YouTube videos, which at first is like, oh, just a fun whatever for music or playing my guitar or whatever a long time ago. It was like a couple years ago when I made my first video. Um, but the main reason I wanted to keep doing music or keep doing positive things, positive videos on here were for my children. Because I kept having to sing them to sleep, and I would be putting them to sleep, singing them songs, and I thought, what if one day I'm not here and we don't really have video cameras anymore that we use? Although I just found my old one this week, but we don't really use them. We don't really, make tapes for our kids anymore and, label on them what year, what birthday was or what the event was. We don't really have that for our children. So I was thinking, okay, well, when I die, I don't know if they'll be able to just have my phone and look at all the videos or, um, you know, have any part of me. So me being all sentimental, I was like, I'm going to keep doing music videos and, well, not real music videos, but videos of me singing music. Or if I write a song that's my own, post it on there. And that way, especially because they, are growing up in a broken home, let's say, and they go back and forth to their dads if they are, sad or they miss me and they really can't call me and talk to me, they can at least, watch a YouTube video of me. And so that was basically my main point of it. Although now the more, the older I get and stuff, I think, I may not have a lot of talents and I may not offer much to the world. But I do know one thing that I am just very natural at is being motherly. And so, not that all of you need mothers or more mothers or whatever, but that's just what I'm natural at, is saying like, hey, I heard this speaker and, the idea was really great. You should try it in your relationship. Or, my sister's calling crying or about, a relationship thing. And I love being able to help. Not that she does that or anything. But, talking to friends or family, I am very much the advice giver, whether it's wanted or asked for. It just comes out, and I'm just like, oh, hey, here's an idea. And it's not to be like arrogant or pompous in any way. It's just because if I had a similar situation and if I've experienced something before and it worked for me, then I try to share it. So that is my basically second reason for having anything to do with like YouTube or any kind of social media, is to really just help even one person. Whether I'm helping one person laugh that day, I'm helping one person just get out of a bad mood that day, if I'm helping one person maybe change their relationship a little bit. And I am not a professional. I am not a counselor in any way, shape, or form. I'm a normal human being who struggles in life just like everybody else. And when I hear something really good and profound and something that really helped me in my relationship with my mom or my sister or my brother or a boyfriend, whatever, like if it helps me, I want to help other people. And sometimes it's something so simple that you're like, why did I never think about that? And right now, what I have been listening to is Dr. Phil. And people can laugh, and he's like the butt of so many jokes on TV or movies or whatever. And I honestly have not really watched his show. Just gonna put that out there. I don't watch a show. Like, I have seen this week, I saw online like a couple 5-minute clips, and that's probably the most I've ever watched of his real actual show on TV. Which is probably really good. I never watch it, and I just thought it was like a drama show. I didn't think it was anything like real helping people. But it very well could be. I haven't watched it, so I may start watching it. I don't know. We'll see. But what I am doing is listening to his podcast, and it's more just him talking. And sometimes he has guests on his show, and they'll, he did one on, who did he do it on? It was a basketball player, I think. I can't remember which one now. I don't know. He had a super deep voice, really tall. But anyways, I cannot remember which one it was right now. Oh, the Shack. I think that's who he did it on. So anyways, it's super easy. Like if you have Pandora already and some other of the listening apps, you can just listen for free. And, or you could Google it. I'll show you. If I can turn this around. Oh, I can't do it. I can't turn it around while I'm on it. How annoying. Okay, well, anyways, if you can see, I don't know if you can see it, but fill in the blanks. Just look up the podcast. And my bed's not made, if you saw that. Sorry. Yeah, so if you just Google it, look up his podcast, and this is how I figure, or this is what I'm thinking about it, is that so many people have problems, and so many people have issues in relationships. So many people have issues with the relationship with themselves. And they don't realize, like, there are so many tools out there to help you. And, everybody sells books everywhere, but nobody wants to take the time to read a book. I can barely even take time to read a book, honestly. So that's why I was like, you know what? I need help in some areas of my life. And so a couple people, my boyfriend's sister and like my grandma had suggested like listening to audiobooks or, listening to a podcast or whatever. And I was like, meh, pish posh. We'll see. We'll see if I can do that, because a lot of times I have the kids with me, and so even if I'm doing it while I'm driving, I have a kid with me, so I don't really want to listen to too much grown-up stuff around them, so, and they'd be super annoyed. But anyway, so when I am driving alone, I started listening to Dr. Phil, and it honestly is so much better than I thought. And I literally was like addicted to hearing it because it was so good. And it's like better than preaching, honestly, no offense. But I mean, I've been listening to preaching my whole life. And it's like all those great ideas that you really, probably have already thought of, probably already thought about putting in place. At least I have, most of the concepts. It's like stuff you've already thought about, but he gives you a logical and a reasonable way to carry them out. And I suggest listening to Fill in the Blanks by Dr. Phil and going to the first episode of the Relationship Reality Check. That is what I'm doing right now, is the Relationship Reality Check. And, it's, you can listen to them out of order. It doesn't really matter, but it will matter as far as how to grasp the uphill climb, or the gradual learning of the whole idea, and starting with yourself. And if you don't like yourself and you don't like living with yourself, then, you're not going to be a very good friend or a very good sister or a very good daughter if you don't even like you. So if you don't like you, how is anyone else going to like you? That's kind of one of his first ideas. And anyways, so I'll probably be talking a lot about that and just like spreading the word that it's really super good. And if you want something easy to do, back to my point of, there's so many tools out there, and just picture your house burning down, and, you're sad about it, you're mad about it, you're frustrated, and it's burning as we speak. Your house is just going up in flames, and right in front of you, you have a hose, you have, the fire extinguishers, you have all these things to put out the fire, and they're free. Like, no one's going to charge you for them. You could just literally pick those tools up and do it yourself, and you could save your house. But sadly, most people just leave the tools on the ground, and they walk around mad and frustrated and angry and just hate themselves. They hate everyone they're around. They blame everyone. They blame themselves that their house is burning down, but they have tools right in front of them, and they just choose not to use them, and that's how I think of the books, the counseling, the podcast. There's so much good out in the world to help with relationships, to help in general in your life, to help you with money, like pick up a Dave Ramsey book or, whatever. And just, that's my analogy for the day. That wasn't Dr. Phil thing. That was just me thing. Don't let your house burn down, which is metaphorically your relationships. Don't let all your relationships and all those bridges burn down because you didn't feel like picking up a book. Like, live intentionally. Try to think about how much do you want at the end of the day. How much worth in the relationships do you want? Like, how good do you want your life to be? Really, how good do you want your life to be? Do you want to have a burning down house that you're just mad about all the time? Or you want to pick up a tool, and most of it is free? I mean, the counseling, probably not. They might want to charge you an arm and a leg, but you can also go to, there's free resources out there somewhere. And, I can help you with that. And also find a good friend that you can confide in. Because sometimes, like, for myself, I've been to counseling pretty much my whole life. And a lot of times it's just me talking, just like this. I would literally talk almost the entire time. And they would give me verbiage, which they would give me words to describe what I was talking about, or they would give me the proper terms for something that I was dealing with so that I would have a word to describe it. And, you know, a lot of times they were helpful, but it was mostly me talking out loud and then slowly figuring out what I needed to do because I was bouncing the ideas off of someone, you know, and someone would just be like, yeah, good job. That's a great idea. You know, yeah, you should do that. So I'm not saying counseling's not good. It's wonderful, especially for someone that hasn't had counseling their whole life. um, but because I have most of it now as an adult, I'm just like, you know, I think I should just probably do this. And I end up fixing myself sometimes, you know, and just saying it out loud. So sometimes you just need a really good friend or a really good family member that can tell you, like, hey, you can vent to me and, you know, no judgment today or whatever. Like, this is your safe time to just, like, vent and tell me your problems. So, anyways, I know there's probably a lot of rabbit trails, but I'm just saying for the future, I'm going to try to do more videos that I think might help the general world. And if it only helps one person, and if I only encourage one person, that counts, because one life matters, you know, just like a crime, you know, just one crime, it matters to me. So there's a lot I would love to talk about, and a lot of, like, I would like to share, and a lot of my life, you know, like, I would love to write a book someday about everything that I've been through and how I coped with it, and how I can be still a good person. How can I be a flawed person, but still, in general, a good person? Now, my family, the people I live with who see the worst of me, I'm sure can say I'm definitely not perfect, and I've got a lot of issues, and I've got a lot of things that I am trying to work out, but I'm actively trying to work that out, and I feel like that's the biggest thing, is that, you know, there are people that have given up on themselves, they've given up on all their relationships, and they don't try anymore. You know, they've just given up, and they are who they are, and they don't feel that they have to change. They don't admit wrong, and it's really sad, because me, who I am so far from perfect, I want to be perfect. I can't be, but I really would like to be. I am constantly trying to look for new ways that I can improve. And I feel like that's the big difference with people. The people that they may be really messed up and they may have a lot of issues, but if they keep trying and every day they try to do their best and they try to look for other ways to make themselves better, that's the kind of people that I appreciate. That's the kind of people I want as friends, you know, and I don't care if you've messed up 1,000 times. If you wake up another day and you're trying to do better, like, that's what matters. And there's a lot of gray areas in that, but because I know I make mistakes every day, and I freak out about crumbs, and I have a lot of OCD issues that I would love to let go of, but I may not. I may not be able to let them go, but I'm gonna try my best. So, yeah, lots of stuff I would love to talk about. And if you feel like commenting on any of this stuff and feel like having a convo, I'll talk to you. But anyways, I suggest Dr. Phil, fill in the blanks, and then relationship reality check. Those are what I'm doing right now, and there's even worksheets that if you want to do those, there's online, you can Google it. And yeah, I just feel like that's a really good suggestion, because it's just overall a relationship about yourself, and then it goes on and breaks it down to relationships about other people. And even really good tips, like my favorite so far is probably, like, just, I mean, if you don't ever listen to it, then I'm just going to give it to you, but he probably wants it as like a nail biter, like, tell me what it is. But a really good tip from Dr. Phil is the first 4 minutes that you see someone that, you know, you haven't seen for the day, or maybe you haven't seen in a while, or, you know, you've left for work and you came home and, you know, you're seeing your husband or wife for the first time all day, make the first 4 minutes positive. Don't run in the door and tell them all the bad things that happened to you that day. You make at least, like, just tell yourself, like, the first 4 minutes that you see each other, make it positive. Something positive. How's your day? What you up to? You know, and I'll let him explain it because he's way better at it. But just in case you don't hear it, it was super important for my relationship and for future relationships and just relationships in general, because especially even if your job is dealing with people, you have to have like a mental way to deal with people. And it was just a really good tip. So that way, when I see someone come in my lane or whatever, I try to be positive in the first 4 minutes I see them, and if they're a huge jerk, then yeah, my positivity can go down after that. But try, because it opens up a positive door for them to be positive to you. If you're smiling and happy, it can make a huge difference. And that's a whole nother rabbit trail. I'll just do it in another video. Yeah, maybe I'll just start that. I'll just start all the sections of things he talks about, things that are just my idea, and different things like that. So I will try to take more time to do that, share all my wisdom, and I think that's really, I'd say the one thing that's the most natural to me is just being motherly to my family, to my friends, giving that advice, being that shoulder to cry on, just being the positive one, trying to keep myself afloat, keep others around me afloat, and, life's hard. Life is super hard, and we're all just trying to figure out how to manage it. So grab those free tools that the world is offering you. There's tons of suggestions, and don't give up until you've tried them all.